Hi, and welcome back to the next quiz in the Big Quizzy Business, our weekly update to all the quizzes that we are going to be showcasing on this YouTube channel. In case you've not met me before, my name is Cuddy Cudworth, the pub quiz and host of the Quizzy Business. Now, why are you here? Well, you might want to play this at home. You might want to play this with your friends and family, or you might want to host your own pub quiz in your own pub and your own venue so that you can start maximizing that revenue and getting people into your pub without actually employing or getting in a quiz host to do it. Even though I host a lot of pub quizzes, I'll be honest with you, it's a much better experience if you have a pub quiz host in there. However, if you're wanting to start growing an audience within your pub, then maybe this is going to be the solution for you. So pleased to meet you. Welcome back to the channel, The Quizzy Business. Once again, I'm your host, Cuddy Cudworth, and I'm excited for you to go through this quiz or this trivia wherever in the world that you are watching and enjoying and getting the answers. This quiz can take as long as you like, depending on if you're playing at home or if you're playing within your business. That's how much fun it's going to be because you can pause it whenever you want. What I'm going to do is if you're just playing through without pausing the channel, I'm going to give you 1 minute from asking the question and giving you a space to answer it as well. So you're going to get 1 minute per question for every one of the questions that we're going to go through, even though some of them are quite quick. But remember, your availability and your options to be able to pause at any time you want so that you can have the space to be able to do this. Or you just go through it nice and quickly if you're playing along at home. Thank you very much for choosing this channel for your quizzes and trivias. And as always, big love from Cuddy, and I can't wait to see you in the quiz. So let's get started. Let's go through the rules before we get started so you can find out how you're going to play along. And don't forget, there's plenty more quizzes on this channel. So if you go through this quickly, join on to another one. And thank you very much for liking and subscribing so you get all the updates to the quiz. You will see me and hear me depending on different parts of the quiz. It's going to be a nice place for you to come and take part in your quizzes and have some fun. All right, so here we go. The rules of the game. Total 60 questions, 6 different categories. Your answers have to match my answers, even if I'm wrong. They're well-researched quizzes and questions, but sometimes if it's worded a different way that you might not understand, you might say, that's not what I expected from one of those questions, which is totally fair and understandable. So here we go. 6 different categories. Your answers have to match my answers, even if I'm wrong, and points for each correct answer. Now, you get 1 point for every correct answer unless otherwise stated. Some of the questions I might say there's 3 points up for grabs, or sometimes it's just that 1 point. But listen along as we take part in the quiz. So these are your 6 questions today. Name that sport. General knowledge. Round number 1 is always going to be general knowledge. We've got the 90s, a whole decade of questions for you. Geography, nature, and say what you see. I always do 2 picture rounds in the quizzes that we're going to be taking part with, so we'll make it nice and fun as we go along. Are you ready to begin? Well, round number 1 is general knowledge. Here we go. What is the name of the first spacecraft to reach the surface of Mars? Is that a trickier question? It's quite a hard question for question number 1. Unless, if you know the answer, it's probably not going to be that hard, such as all the general knowledge questions that we do. So question number 1, what is the name of the first spacecraft to reach the surface of Mars? Question number 1. Question number 2. What is the name of the world's longest river? What is the name of the world's longest river? Question number 2 of general knowledge. I can hear you now going through all the possible answers it could be. Obviously, I can't hear you. But question number 2, what is the name of the world's longest river? Question number 3. How many hearts does an octopus have? How many hearts does an octopus have? I've even made it easier for you. This is multiple choice. Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? Or is it 4? How many hearts does an octopus have? Moving on swiftly. Question number 4. What year did the Titanic sink in the Atlantic Ocean on April 15th after hitting an iceberg? So we're giving you the date, but we're not giving you the year. So what year did the Titanic sink in the Atlantic Ocean on April 15th after hitting an iceberg? That is question number 4. Number 5, what is the largest ocean on Earth of all the oceans that you could choose? What is the largest ocean on the Earth? That is question number 5. Question number 6. In which country did the sport of curling originate? In which country did the sport of curling originate? That is question number 6. Question number 7. The Great Barrier Reef is found off which country's coast? Have you been there? Some of you may have. So question number 7. The Great Barrier Reef is found off which country's coast? Question number 8. What is the hottest planet in the solar system? Now, before somebody already says this, it's not Uranus. No. I probably shouldn't laugh at my own jokes. What is the hottest planet in the solar system? That is question number 8. What is the hottest planet in the solar system? Question number 9. How many elements are there in the periodic table? How many elements are there in the periodic table? Question number 9. How many elements are there in the periodic table? Question number 9. And question number 10. What is the smallest country in the world? What is the smallest country in the world? That is question number 10. What is the smallest country in the world? That is question number 10, everybody. That is the end of round number 1. That was your general knowledge round. Let me just check in with you. How was that for you? Too easy? Too hard? Should we move on? I think we should. Here we go. We are going to go into round number 2. Round number 2 is geography. That's right, it is geography. We're going to go all the way around the world. Again, I will say I apologize for my accent. I'm originally from Sheffield or the Barnsley area, but I've lived in Scotland for about 20 years and I worked in America for quite a long time. So my accent is all over the place. So I try and be as clear as I can with my voice to make sure that you understand the questions. Here we go. What is question number 11? What is the capital of Estonia? What's the capital of Estonia? That is question number 11. Moving on to question number 12. Name this country's flag. Name this country's flag. Again, don't forget you can pause this whenever you want, or you can keep moving through the questions as quickly as you like. Name this country's flag. That is question number 12. Question number 13. What is the capital of Georgia? What is the capital of Georgia? That is question number 13. Question number 14. In which country would you find a Walloon person? That's a good question. That catches a lot of people out. So in which country would you find a Walloon person or a person who would class themselves as a Walloon? That is question number 14. Question number 15. What continent is also a country? What continent is also a country? Taking you all over the world with these questions. That is question number 15. What continent is also a country? Question number 16. Which country has the highest population? Which country has the highest population? To clarify, that is just population per person, nothing else. Which country has the highest population? Question number 16. Question number 17. What is the largest island in the world? Question number 17. What is the largest island in the world? That is question number 17 in the round we call geography. What is the largest island in the world? Question number 18. As I'm from Scotland and I have been for 20 years now, this is a great question. What is the most southerly piece of Scottish territory? What is the most southerly piece of Scottish territory? That is question number 18. Question number 19. What is the most commonly used number for how many countries are in the world? And I'll explain this question. Question number 19. What is the most commonly used number for how many countries are in the world? I'll explain this question. There is a variation depending on what is classed as a country and what other people don't class as a country. But there is one commonly used number for how many countries are in the world, and that is the number that we are after. That is number 19. Question number 20. What is the country with the highest GDP per capita per person of the most powerful country in the world, or the most powerful country in the world per capita? That's different to the previous question. What is the country with the highest GDP per capita, which is money per person, or the most powerful country in the world per capita? That is question number 20. That is the end of round number 2. That is round number two. That is over, which means we're going to move into round number three, which is always going to be a picture round. I'll always make them different picture rounds, but it's a little bit easier to go through. But you do need to see the screen, or you do need to be able to see the picture so that you can write down or shout out your answers however you're playing this game, whether it's in the pub, at home, or with your friends. So this is round number three, and this is name the sport. Now, I know a lot of people in there are going to be going, oh, sport is going to be my favoriteest round. Maybe not, because you have to identify these unique sports from around the world. So here we go. This is round number three. This is name the sport. As you're going to see, it's all going to change, and you're going to see the pictures from the rounds. Here we go. This is question number 21. Name that sport. That's something completely different, isn't it? Name that sport. Have a closer look. Moving on to question number 22. Name that sport. There's lots going on in that picture, to be fair. Can you recognize that sport? It's becoming more and more popular. That is question number 22. Question number 23. Name that sport. I'm laughing because this is actually a sport. Question number 23. Name the sport. Question number 24. Name the sport. That is question number 24. Have a really good look. Have a look at everything that's going on there and name the sport. So there we go. That is question number 24. Moving on to question number 25. Name that sport. Name that sport. Yes, they're completely unique and weird sports, but there we go. Name that sport. Have a good look. What is going on? What's happening? Question number 25. Question number 26. To be fair, this picture does make me laugh. Name that sport. Have a good look around. There's some key clues to what's going on there. That is question number 26. Name the sport. Question number 27. What is going on there? Question number 27. This is an actual sport. Name the sport. Question number 27. Question number 28. What is that? What is going on? Name the sport. That is an actual sport. I've seen it on YouTube. It is brutal, by the way. Question number 28. Moving on to 29. What sport is that? Name the sport. I mean, who thinks of these things? Really, who thinks of these things? Name the sport. Question number 30. That should be quite self-explanatory, to be fair. Name the sport. Question number 30. So that is the end of round number 3. That is the end of round number 3. Now, because we've gone halfway through the quiz, this is the part of the quiz. If I was doing this in a pub, I would say, right, this is break time. Go and get yourself off to the toilet, get yourself off to the bar, get yourself a drink in, and we're going to take a short 15-minute break. However, this is your quiz. You're running this how you want to run it. So if you're playing along at home, basically, we're just going to carry on. If you're running this in a pub, you press pause, you go away for a drink, get yourself off to the toilet, get yourself back to your seats. That helps the quiz last. Like I say, when I do pub quizzes in pubs, I'm there for about 2 hours, to be fair. I'm there for about 2 hours. However, if you're running along at home, maybe it's going to be completely different. We're just going to go on to the next round. So here we go. Let's move on. I would leave that on the screen saying break time, be back in 15 minutes. However, let's carry on. Welcome to round number 4. It's the 90s. A whole decade of the 90s. Here we go. Question number 31. What was the name of the sheep that became the first successfully cloned mammal in 1996? What was the name of the sheep that became the first successfully cloned mammal in 1996? Question number 31. Question number 32. Which novel by J.K. Rowling was published in 1997? Which novel by J.K. Rowling was published in 1997? That is question number 32. Question number 33. What year did the Soviet Union officially dissolve? What year did the Soviet Union officially dissolve? That is question number 33. Moving on to question number 34. Which revolutionary product did Apple release in 1998? Which revolutionary product did Apple release in 1998? That is question number 34. Question number 35. What was the best-selling album soundtrack of the 1990s? What was the best-selling album soundtrack of the 1990s? Ooh, that's going to get the brain matter going, isn't it? That's really going to get the brain matter going. What was the best-selling album soundtrack of the 1990s? Question number 35. Question number 36. What technology became a household necessity and had its first public release by Netscape in 1994? That's a trickier one, to be fair. What technology became a household necessity and had its first public release by Netscape in 1994? That's question number 36. Question number 37. Which console did Sony release in 1994, marking its entry into the video game market? Which console did Sony release in 1994, marking its entry into the video game market? That is question number 37. Question number 38. Who was the US president at the start of the 1990s? Who was the US president at the start of the 1990s? Question number 39. Which snack was advertised with the slogan, "Once you pop, you can't stop"? Once you pop, you can't stop. So which snack was advertised with the slogan, "Once you pop, you can't stop"? Question number 40. The last question of round number 4. It's a 90s question. Super easy if you know it. Which TV show featured characters named Rachel, Ross, and Chandler? So which TV show featured characters named Rachel, Ross, and Chandler? That is question number 40. Which means that's the end of the round, the 90s, round number 4. So we've gone through 40 questions. As we know, all the quizzes that I do are 60 question quizzes. So how have you been doing so far? Let me know. Write it in the comments. Are these quizzes too hard? Are they too easy? Do you need me to step it up a level for you so we get that grey matter going? So far, we've done general knowledge, name the sport, geography. We've also done the 90s. So we're now going to move into the next round, which is nature. It's a cracking subject for us to use. So we're now going to move into nature. So nature is the next round. Are you ready? Here we go. This is round number 5, nature. Let's start you with a nice easy question. Question number 41. What is the tallest tree species in the world? What is the tallest tree species in the world? That is question number 41. Question number 42. Which gas found in the Earth's atmosphere could be from Superman's home planet? There's always going to be a Superman question in my quizzes. This is one of them. Question number 42. Which gas found in the Earth's atmosphere could be from Superman's home planet? It's question number 42. Question number 43. What is the main diet of a panda? What is the main diet of a panda? Question number 43. Question number 44. What are baby frogs known as? Question number 44. What are baby frogs known as? That's question number 44. Question number 45. Which layer of the planet Earth is made up of tectonic plates? There's different layers to the Earth. This is a geological question, to be fair. Which layer of the planet Earth is made up of tectonic plates? That's a hard question. That's why there's 2 question marks. Question number 46. What type of rock is created by intense heat and pressure? Again, another geological question there. What type of rock is created by intense heat and pressure? What type of rock is created by intense heat and pressure? Number 46. Number 47. Which animal is known to have the strongest sense of smell in the animal kingdom? Which animal is known to have the strongest sense of smell in the animal kingdom? That's question number 47. Question number 48. What species of animal is an orca? So what species of animal is an orca? That is question number 48. Question number 49. The African lion is scientifically known as which Latin word? I'll give you 1 point for half of it, and I'll give you 2 points for the whole Latin scientific word for the African lion. That is question number 49. So 2 points up for grabs on that one. And question number 50, the last question in this round. What is the world's largest frog species? It's known for its size and frog jumping capabilities. What is the world's largest frog species known for its size and frog jumping capabilities? That is question number 50. Which means we've only got one more round left. We've only got one more round left, and it's going to be a picture round. Well done for doing the nature round. That was round number 5 of 6 rounds of the quiz we're going to go through. Then don't forget, we have to go through all the answers at the end. So I will do a whole video section just for the answers as well. So that's the first 5 rounds of the quiz done. We're now going to go into the last round of the quiz. The last round of the quiz is quite simply, say what you see. Say what you see. It's picture puzzles. We've made them, we've created them. All you have to guess is what they are. The questions are in the picture. So here we go. Let's move on to the last round of this quiz of the 60 questions. So here we go. This is round number 6. Probably one of my favorite rounds, to be fair. I do like this one an awful lot. Say what you see. It's that simple. So name the movie. That is a movie. Name the movie. Name the movie. Can you see what it says? Moving on to question number 52. Name the movie. What is that? It's telling you the answer to a movie in a picture. Moving on to question number 53. Name the brand. There's quite a few things in there that should lead you to a brand. Look at every picture on there and name the brand for question number 53. Question number 54. Name the movie. Say what you see. That couldn't be any easier, to be fair. Name the movie. Question number 54. And what a big chopper he's got. I'm sorry. Hashtag not sorry. That's question number 54. Moving on to number 55. Name the place. That is somewhere in the world. That is a geography question. Name the place. Name the city. It's actually a city. Moving on to question number 56. Name the group. The question is just missing off there, but it does say name the group. I put the journey into an AI, and that's the picture it gave me. Name the group. That is question number 56. Question number 57. Name the song. Name the song. That's a great question. Name the song. Moving on to question number 58. Name the song, everybody. That's a picture that's telling you the name of a song. Question number 58. Question number 59. That is a popular saying. A popular saying. Definitely in the UK, but all over the world. What is it saying right there? And question number 60. Your last question. Name the movie. Great movie as well. There we go. Name the movie. That is the 60 questions and the last part. That's the end of the quiz. Now, depending how you're doing this quiz, swap your papers around, or we're going to start going through the answers. Swap the quiz papers around. Take a break. If you're running this in a pub, take a break. Take a break. Get yourself a pint from the bar. Go and get yourself a snack. Go and do whatever. Wherever you're doing this, it is completely your choice, as we'll start going through the answers very shortly. So we are going to start going through the answers for the quiz now. Again, this is going to take about 45 minutes to an hour to get through by just watching the video, by watching the YouTube that you're on right now. Depending on how quickly you've gone through this, but now we're going to go through the answers. So the answers are coming up as we go through. Right, we are going to go through the answers now. So we are going to go through this a little bit quicker for the answers. We knew what the rules of the game were. We knew what the questions were. So round number 1, general knowledge. What is the name of the first spacecraft to reach the surface of Mars? That was Viking 1. The answer we're looking for was Viking 1. Question number 2. What is the name of the world's longest river? That was the Nile. The Nile was what we were after. Question number 3. How many hearts does an octopus have? That is 3 hearts. The answer we were looking for was 3 hearts. Question number 4. What year did the Titanic sink in the Atlantic Ocean on April 15th after hitting an iceberg? That was 1912. Question number 5. What is the largest ocean on Earth? It is the Pacific. The Pacific is what we were looking for on that one. Question number 6. In which country did the sport of curling originate? In which country did the sport of curling originate? That was Scotland. The Great Barrier Reef is found off which country's coast? That was Australia. Question number 8. What is the hottest planet in the solar system? That is Venus. Venus was the answer we were looking for on that one. Question number 9. How many elements are there in the periodic table? How many elements are there in the periodic table? That is 118. 118. Question number 10. What is the smallest country in the world? That is Vatican City. The smallest country in the world is Vatican City, which means we're moving on to round number 2, geography. So what is the capital of Estonia? What is the capital of Estonia? That is Tallinn. Tallinn was the answer we were looking for. Name this country's flag. That is Syria. Syria was the answer that we're looking for. Number 13. What is the capital of Georgia? That is Tbilisi. Tbilisi was the answer we were looking for. Tbilisi. Number 14. One of my favorite questions, to be fair. When I found out the answer for this, it just stuck with me forever. So in which country would you find a Walloon person? That is Belgium. Let me explain why. In Belgium, there's 2 parts to Belgium. There's the French side and the Dutch side. And I believe the Dutch side of Belgium like to be referred to as a Walloon. They are the Walloon. The other side is the Flemish. So the Walloons might be the French and the Flemish might be the Dutch. But that's how they are. So Belgium is split between 2 people, the Walloons and the Flemish. Number 15. What continent is also a country? What continent is also a country? That is Australia. Which country has the highest population? That is India. India was the answer we were looking for. Question number 17. What is the largest island in the world? That is Greenland. Greenland is the largest island in the world, sorry. Number 18. What is the most southerly piece of Scottish territory? The answer to that one is the Mull of Galloway. The Mull of Galloway. Question number 19. What is the most commonly used number for how many countries are in the world? That is 195. 195 is the most commonly used number for how many countries there are in the world. What is the country with the highest GDP capita per person or the most powerful country in the world per capita? That is the United States of America. United States of America is question number 20. Round number 3. Name the sport. They were strange sports, but here they were. That was underwater hockey. Which looks horrible, to be fair, but that is underwater hockey. Question number 22 was Quidditch. That was the answer we were looking for on that one, Quidditch. The answer for this one is 23, cheese rolling. Cheese rolling is the answer we were looking for. That happens every year in the UK, cheese rolling. Question number 24 is Bossa Ball. Bossa Ball, which I believe is in South America, if I'm not much mistaken. Question number 25 is canal jumping. Canal jumping was the answer we're looking for. If you've got a slight variation to that, canal pole vaulting, we'll accept it, but it was canal jumping. Question number 26 is soapbox racing. Soapbox racing was the answer we're looking for. 27. I mean, literally, it was in the picture. Ear pulling. Ear pulling. Not yet in the Olympics. What a surprise. Here we go. Question number 28. And this is brutal. This is a mix of rugby and basketball. And it's called Rega Ball. Rega Ball for question number 28. 29. Extreme ironing. I just think that's funny, but extreme ironing. And question number 30 is ostrich racing. Ostrich racing for question number 30. Round number 4 was the 90s. What was the name of the sheep that became the first successfully cloned mammal in 1996? That was Dolly the sheep. 32. Which novel by J.K. Rowling was published in 1997? That was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. 33. What year did the Soviet Union officially dissolve? That was in 1991. 1991. Question number 34. Which revolutionary product did Apple release in 1998? That was the iMac. A lot of people say the iPod for that one. It's not. It's the iMac. What was the best-selling album soundtrack of the 1990s? That was The Bodyguard with Whitney Houston. The Bodyguard was the best-selling movie soundtrack. 36. What technology became a household necessity and had its first public release by Netscape in 1994? That was the web browser, not the internet. That came many, many years before. It was the web browser. 37. Which console did Sony release in 1994, marking its entry into the video game market? That was the PlayStation. And who was the US president at the start of the 1990s? That was George H.W. Bush. George H.W. Bush. Which snack advertised with the slogan, once you pop, you can't stop? That was obviously Pringles. And number 40, which TV show featured characters named Rachel, Ross, and Chandler? That's question number 40. Moving on to round number 5. What is the tallest tree species in the world? That is the redwood. The redwood is the tallest tree species in the world. Which gas found in the Earth's atmosphere could be from Superman's home planet? That is krypton. Krypton is part of our atmosphere. Fascinating question. 43. What is the main diet of a panda? Bamboo. Bamboo was the answer we're looking for. What are baby frogs known as? Tadpoles. Tadpoles are the answer, not froglets. We were looking for tadpoles. Number 45. Which layer of the planet Earth is made up of tectonic plates? That is the lithosphere. The lithosphere was the answer we're looking for. 46. What type of rock is created by intense heat and pressure? That is not lava. That is metamorphic rock. Metamorphic rock. So watch, which animal is known to have the strongest sense of smell in the animal kingdom? I will accept elephant for a point, but if you put African elephant, you get 2 points. African elephant for 2 points, or elephant for 1 point. What species of animal is an orca? That is from the dolphin family, not a whale. It's a dolphin. Question number 49. The African lion is scientifically known as which Latin word? That is Panthera leo. If you put Leo, give you a point. I did say there's 2 points if you said the full one. Panthera leo was the answer we're looking for. And what is the world's largest frog species known for its size and frog jumping capabilities? That is the Goliath frog. The Goliath frog. All right, name the movie. That was Point Break. Did you get that one? Point Break. Name the movie. Green Mile. The answer we're looking for was Green Mile. Name the brand. Amazon. That was a snake. That was a jaguar. That is a Amazonian forest. And then there was a little Amazon echo dot at the bottom. Name the movie. That was The Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz. Name the place or name the city. That is Bangkok. Bangkok was the answer we were looking for 55. Name the group. Put that into AI. This is the picture it gave me. That was Journey. Journey was the answer we were looking for. Name the song. That is Fire Starter. Fire Starter. The Prodigy song. Name the song. Fire Starter. Name the song. Stairway to Heaven was what we were looking for. Stairway to Heaven. And a popular saying is raining cats and dogs. Raining cats and dogs. Question number 60, your last question. Name the movie. That was The Running Man. The Running Man was the answer we were looking for that one. So how did you do? That is the end of the quiz. How did you do? Mark up your points. That's what I do when I'm in the pub, get a drink or go for a pesh. We'll be back in 10 minutes, but no, that's not what we're doing for this. Here we go. So how did you do? We've gone from the quiz, we've gone to the answers. How did you do? Well done. When you're doing a 60-question quiz, to be fair, if you get over 30 points, you're doing all right. Some people get more points, some are higher. Sometimes we get lower. It's just a quiz. It's just a pub. But I genuinely hope you've enjoyed this quiz. There's plenty more coming for us for the Quizzy Business. And I hope you're using this for your pub quizzes wherever you are in the world, because this is all set up for you. Don't forget, you can download the quizzes if you want to do it yourself without using YouTube. You can download the PowerPoints and the answers and the quiz papers. It's all included for you. You click the link in the descriptions and you can get to the website where you're going to find all those available to purchase and do for yourself and run your own quiz nights. It's all there for you. Thank you so much for being part of the Quizzy Business. As always, big love from Cuddy. Enjoy the next quiz that's probably going to come up, or I hope to see you around. Big love from Cuddy, and we'll see you on the next Quizzy Business quiz.